Hi, welcome back to Ladenzala. Today I thought I'd take you guys along to show you some of my morning chores. I've been outside for an hour or so already, and then I thought, well, why not take you guys along? Right now I'm going to feed the chickens and the pigs. So yeah, these are my buckets that I have to do every morning. Hog grower, chicken feed. Now my chickens don't get fed every day because they're free range, and if I feed them every day, they won't go out and forage for, the bugs and the grass and stuff that they need to keep themselves healthy and to produce me a much better. So yeah, fed, I think it's 3 times a week. If it's raining and I lock them up for a day, then they'll get fed more, but mostly they're outside free range hens, so I don't feed them a lot. So yeah, I'll take you guys along. They're going to follow me there. They want their food. Come on, you guys. Let's go. Come on. Morning workout when you're out videoing on your own. I gotta keep running back to the camera. Well, yeah, here's the piggies. They're all looking for food now. I've already been down and given them water this morning already. I have a bit of bad news. I did a couple videos on my big sow, my big mama. Well, after she had her babies, about 4 weeks or so after she had, or 5 weeks I should say, after she had her babies, I noticed that she wasn't eating much food. So I started soaking her food for her a little bit more. The next day, she ate nothing. And then the next day, she ate nothing. And then, well, I decided, I'm going to have to mix it up and I'm going to have to try to get her to eat. So I came down with a dish of food that I made for her. I had a pile of different herbs, antibiotic, everything in it in case she was sick or anything, and I put the food actually in her mouth. To feed a 6-pound boar, or try to force feed a 600-pound, get her to swallow it, was not an easy task, but I did that for 5 days, every day. I did it with water, with electrolytes. I managed to get a squeeze bottle, and I used to stick it in the corner of her mouth and squeeze a little bit in so that she would drink a little, and she managed to get some down. This went on, like I said, 5 days, 6 days. She still was no better, and she wasn't eating her food at all. She was starting to lose a dramatic amount of weight. So at the end, she was just kind of lethargic for most of the day. She never moved. By this point, I had her separated away from her weaners for like 5 or 6 days because they were eating food and they were on their own. They were okay. So we made the hard decision that we had to put Mama down. Wasn't an easy day. We had her for 4 years, but I won't let an animal suffer. And we tried everything we could. After we put her down, I found in her intestines, in her small intestine, there was a stone, a big stone that was blocking her intestines, so she couldn't eat. The food couldn't go anywhere, and there was not much anybody could have done about it. Now my little wieners, Mama's babies, they're doing fantastic. I'm not sure. Yeah, you can see them. They're right there in the background. I'll take you guys along now. I'm going to give them their breakfast. These little guys are doing fantastic. They eat tons of food. They eat more than the big ones over there, but there's 10 of them and only 3 of them. So, my little ones. Because there's 10 of them, I have to put it in 2 different feed buckets, so to make sure everybody gets theirs. And I do have that little runt. I don't know if you guys have ever seen him, but there he is there. That little tiny one. Look how small he is. He's like maybe a dwarf in the pig family, but he's actually starting to grow a little. Not much. We're not sure what we're going to do with that little guy. He's a male too, which is not a great thing, but we're probably just going to end up having to keep him. because I can't sell him to somebody. I don't know if he's ever going to grow. Most of the runts of the litters, they do actually grow over time. It usually takes a bit of time, but they usually will grow and catch up to the others. But it takes twice the amount of feed to get them to grow. So I'm thinking my wife just wants to keep them as a pet. Well, we'll see about that. This is a farm after all, or an homestead. So piggies have to pay for themselves, or their food, or, to be sold to make enough money to be able to feed the pigs that I keep. Yeah, it's a way of life. That's what I got to say. There's always ups and downs. I don't like it when I have to put an animal down. I've had to do that now. Well, my last boar, I'm not sure if I talked about that one, but Boris was like a dog. My last boar, my big black boar, he was probably in a couple of my videos. He would come when he was called, he'd stay, he'd eat from your hands, he was the friendliest thing in the world. Then, the one thing that I hate saying anymore is Fiona, the hurricane. Because I was out of power for 25 days. Now, we did run generator all day long, right up till like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, but then we'd have to shut it down because, it's costing a fortune to run a generator 24/7. And Boris figured out that the fences weren't hot anymore. So he would just go out, I'd come down every day, he'd be gone. I'd call him and he'd come running, no problem, but he'd be out in my neighbor's field, in the cornfield, eating corn. That's something you don't want to happen. But my neighbor understood. So when we got our power back, I hooked up all the electric fencing, got everything all back to normal, fixed up the fencing. I had spent, weeks fixing things. And he just didn't care about the electric fence anymore. He just bulldozed right through it. Couldn't care less about the shock or nothing. I figured, well, I'll set up some pig fencing, which you guys have seen lots of that around, like this stuff here. It's, 1/4-inch solid galvanized steel, and it's about, 3 to 4 feet tall. So I set up a pen for him, put him in there to see if I can get him to calm down and stop wanting to wander. I did that, put the fencing in, got Boris inside, closed the gate. He literally, and I'm talking, this is a boar that's probably bigger than what Mama was. He was probably 700 pounds. He walked up to that, I think it's like 42-inch gate, or 42-inch fencing I had all the way around, stood next to the fence, looked at me, and just jumped it, right over it, never touched it. Blew me away. I had never dreamed that a pig could jump that high, especially one that size. But he did. So, he jumped out, I called him back, he came back, and we got him back inside, so I put an electric fence about a foot higher above the metal fencing that I had, about a foot higher, with a hot wire up there. And it didn't help. Even though I ran 2 wires, because obviously you got to have a ground, he's got to be grounded, and if he's jumping, he's not touching the ground, so he's not grounded. But I put 2 grounded wires, or a ground wire and a hot wire, about 4 inches apart, so he had no choice but hit both at the same time. Didn't make any difference. I figured he was good there for probably throughout the day and in the evening. When I went to bed, I came down in the morning, he was gone. The fence was broken and he was gone. I called him, sure enough, he come running, but the problem this time is, bugs down here today. He was up on the road. And a 700-pound pig get hit by a car, that would be like hitting a brick wall. So yeah, I had no choice in the matter. I had to put him down. I hated that. He was probably one of the best pigs I've ever had. I couldn't take the chance of him being up on the road and somebody driving along and getting hurt or getting killed by hitting the pig, so I just couldn't take that chance anymore, and there was no way. The fencing experiments, that went on for about 3 weeks. I tried everything for 3 weeks to keep him in. There was just no way. He was a big boy, and he was decided that he's doing what he wanted. Oh well, that's life. That's some of the heartaches of animal husbandry. Sometimes you have no choice but do what you have to do. It's not something I enjoy doing, that's for sure. Especially when you take, so much time caring for the animals. But like I said, that's a part of homesteading. This is a sad part of it, a hard part of homesteading. But, if you're going to do animal husbandry, this is something you're just going to have to deal with. I hope you enjoyed the video. Some of it was a little sad, but, part of life. Maybe consider subscribing. Smash the like button. Leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.